Hello, here we are again in this moment of time. Beautiful morning, sun shining, wind's a bit blowy, but otherwise it's beautiful. And where are we today? This is the fourth week of Easter, and for many people I'm sure Easter's been what they say done and dusted, a bit like Christmas, put away in a box for another year. But of course Easter's more than that. It's a time when we actually remember that Jesus rose from the dead, and he's alive today. He's as alive today as much as he was 2,000 years ago, and he walks with everybody if we did but know it. He walks with me, he talks with me, and every time I come out like this I can feel his presence around me. Only yesterday I was up in a field just above me here, and I was sitting in the hedge as one does, and looking out across the field, and it was a beautiful morning yesterday, and I saw this shape in the middle of the field, and I couldn't work out what it was to start with, and then I realised it was a man, and he was laying on his stomach. A bit worrying, I thought, and then I realised he got one of these big super powerful cameras with the big lenses on, and he was obviously taking photographs, and I'm sure it was probably some of the plants. In actual fact, pretty well all over the field there are carpets of wild violets at the moment, and they're absolutely beautiful. But you know, it got me thinking. I hadn't seen that man. I hadn't really. He'd blended in so well. And sometimes I think that's the problem we have with seeing Jesus and recognizing Jesus. He blends in so well because he is part of us. He lives in us and we live in him. And sometimes we just don't recognize him. Sometimes we tend to shrug him off because we don't recognize him. We recognize him. He's not wearing the right clothes, for one thing. That's the problem, isn't it? We put him in those books, the history books, and we put him in those images we have of that we see on our screens and in our books, even today, of him in flowing gown and white garb and Eastern garb, wearing what Jesus sandals, and it's not like that anymore. Because he lives with us today, he's not an historical figure. He actually is alive. So, yeah, I know some of you are saying, well, Richard, I don't know where you get this from. Well, let me tell you, for me, Jesus is truly alive. Yeah, I don't always recognise him. And sometimes I even try to push him away, because sometimes he can be quite challenging with the things that he's asking me to do, and sometimes he can be quite challenging and putting me to rights as well, because sometimes I get things, I know I get things wrong, a lot of things wrong, but he's there just the same, and he still talks to me when I let him. The trouble is, I do a lot of talking myself. What we all need to do is to go off, find somewhere quiet, and say, "Hey Lord, I'm sorry. Let me hear you speak to me." And he does. He'll speak to anybody who does that. He will. He will speak to you in the ways that he knows how to speak to you. It won't necessarily be an audible voice, but it'll be in some way that you will recognise you're being spoken to. And I think I've told you so many times, he speaks to me through the things that I see in the world of nature, and he speaks to me in the things that I sometimes look at and think I don't really recognise anything, and then all of a sudden it comes to me. That's Jesus speaking to me. So yeah, take yourself away, and if you don't believe, don't worry, have a go. Just go take yourself on your own and say, hey, Jesus, I want to believe, but I've got a lot of doubts. I'm not too sure whether I do or don't. So help me in my unbelief. Come and talk to me and show me yourself today. And I just pray that you'll try that. Have a go at it. And don't give up just because you don't feel he has spoken to you. Have another, keep trying. But take yourself away on your own somewhere. Might be a log. You never know. It might be in the loo, you never know. It's wherever you can be. But you know, Jesus will be there with you. And he will talk to you. I promise you he will. But you just need to be open-minded. And yeah, we all have doubts. Don't worry about doubts. He finds a way through those. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say today. I think I've said enough anyway. I did this yesterday and then the whole thing fell off the perch and it went crack, crack, crack on. And I thought, oh dear, and it spoiled it oil. So at the moment, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. Speak to you soon. Bye.